Hello everyone, welcome back to the class of C programming. And this time we will continue our discussion on loops. And indeed, first we will work on nested loops. And so far we covered two kinds of loop statements, loop structures, the for loop and the while loop. They are interchangeable. They are interchangeable, okay. And also, I really want to know here is, well, a loop structure basically it starts with either with for or while, then followed by three components. The initialization of the condition, and then check the condition, and then initialization of the control variable, and then check with the condition, and then update the initial variable. Three components. And then it has a body. The thing I want to tell you here is in the body part, you could put any statement in a loop. So indeed, sometimes we just need to put a loop in another loop. So that is a nested loop. That is a nested loop. That is a nested loop. Okay. A nested loop, it is a loop in a loop. And also, if necessary, we really could have double nested loop or triple nested loop, loop in a loop, then in a loop again. And to simplify the discussion, what I have here is a very small program which will show a 9 by 9 multiplication table. And indeed, don't overlook this issue. Basically, this program, it does require a double loop here. Okay, so the purpose of this program it is to print out a 9 by 9 multiplication table. And I do have the entire program on the notes, and I would highly suggest that you copy and paste this program to code blocks to see if it will run and compile. And then take a look if the result it is as expected. I'm pretty sure it should because I just tried before I put this program on the notes. So as always, to write a C program, we have include the header file for standard import and output. Then main it is of the integer type. Because thinking about the multiplication table, I believe there are rows and columns involved. Basically, I'm using I as for the row index, J as for the column index. And these two statements, the printf and the printf, basically they simply serve the purpose to print out the very first row, 1 to 9, 1 to 9. And also there's some empty space printed in the beginning. And I'm going to let you to try. As I'm saying, if you don't try the program, if you don't know what this program it is about, it's very hard to explain. And you will see why we needed to print out those extra blank space there. Okay, then this for loop, hopefully this loop, it is very straightforward. It's a single loop, okay, it's a single loop. We are just going to print out 1 all the way to 9. 10 will not print because the condition says I strictly less than 10. And also we understand, I suppose we understand, percentage D, it is a placeholder for an integer. And then 5D, basically it just tells the computer to print out an integer with 5 digits. 5 digits. The reason I'm using 5 digits because actually it's easy to control all the numbers. And also I believe, well, the maximum number we will consider it is just 9 times 9, which is 81. Only takes 2 digits. So with 5 digits should be good enough for all the numbers that we print out here. And then remember this is the escape sequence /n. It simply means the end of line. It simply means the end of line here, okay? And then I having a loop, and then another loop in a loop. That is a so-called nested loop, okay, nested loop. Maybe we want to start from, well, actually to trace the program, you want to take a look at the outer loop first. It is a row index. Basically, we are consider a row first. And then for a row, there are multiple columns, right? each row has multiple columns, and each row there are 9 columns because we are considering numbers running from 1 to 9. So I'm printing out numbers for the columns, and this time, each time, it is I times j, right? I times j. So this for statement will print out a entire row, or really, should I say, these printf would print out the entire row. Okay. And then when this loop, this body part, it is done, certainly the inner loop is done, and the body of this outer loop is done. And then it's moving back to the beginning of the for, right? Because I plus plus, which means I will be 2 in the second round. And then when I is updated, we always check the computer, always check the condition. The condition still holds, it's getting to the body. And now keep in mind, this is the case for I equals 2. So what we are having here is would be 2 times 1, 2 times 2, 2 times 3. So the body will finish, complete the task for the second row. And for the third row, the fourth row, all the way up to the ninth row. Ninth row will be printed out. And then the entire task is done. So this is a nest structure for a nested loop. And also, if you don't mind, you could use a mixture of while and for, or you could use for and while, or you could use 2 whiles. But anyway, for simplicity, I'm using 2 fors because, as I said earlier, because I'm seeing the loops are perfectly controlled by the integer values, either from 1 to 3 or 3 to 1 in the upward fashion or downward fashion. So it's relatively easy just to use the for statement. So this is a discussion about nested if. You could have a while in a for, or for in a while, or you have 2 fors like what I wrote here, or you could have 2 whiles. So that is the discussion about a nested loops, sorry. And again, before we go further, let's take a break. Thank you for watching.